And this area down here has an opportunity for Reapers and Blink to be really, really effective down there. So it was causing a lot of trouble since there's such a big distance between this area and this area with the natural. You could just hop between these two zones and really pull a Terran apart with Blink play. But I'm not sure whether we'll see that out of Alex. It's, of course, doing that does take, again, some micro to be able to do. You do want to be actually individually blinking stalkers if you're going to do a blink all in.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So we're in the early stages of the game where not much happens. Everybody playing pretty standard so far, no proxies. But let's introduce our players.
Right.
Down here in the bottom left, we have the blue Terran player, Aldi.
Yay. And up here in the lovely purple is Xelaman or Alex throwing down a gateway there.
Alex going for the 13 gate, Chrono boosting his Nexus, maybe opting for a bit more economical play this game.
Yeah. And Aldi, once again, not going for early gases, just going straight to the barracks itself. So I'm not sure if Alex realized that last time. There's definitely an opportunity to take advantage of that. If you know your opponent only has Marines, you can get either really greedy or you can get aggressive and try and make something out of it. He will scout up here and see what's going on.
Yeah, he could be poking at the SCV with the probe.
Yeah.
But LD responding correctly, pulling an SCV to chase after it, just a kind of nuisance for the Terran in the early game, but nothing particularly interesting happening here. Going into the orbital commands, Alex throwing down a cybernetics core. Everything pretty standard so far. Hopefully Alex taking note of the gasless opener.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to clear out this, or attempt to clear out this probe again and get the command center down on the low ground. Whether the probe realizes that and actually swings out to check the low ground, he's just going to go right by this Marine instead and may get picked off in doing so.
And it looks like I got a tip from the chat. Alex doesn't particularly like going blink all-ins, so it seems he's just going to be going straight for Colossi and transitioning into Templar tech, which is
a lot
strong.
of people feel more comfortable with that. They're just kind of not as great at hitting timings or just don't feel comfortable with completely all-in play.
Yeah, it's the safer
blink
route.
is definitely an all-in. So, yeah.
So opting for the safer route, I mean, getting Colossi, forcing your opponents into Vikings, which in the last game LD didn't produce enough. Like,
yeah,
Alex had a beautiful composition that would have just crushed LD's army, but
had he not been just had they shot their weapons.
Right, he made a simple mistake and cost him the game.
Yeah. So there comes the Nexus now for Alex. The command center almost finished here for LD, who did, of course, build it.
LD playing what he's comfortable with, I guess. It worked for him last game, so might as well do it again. It's pretty standard, solid timings. Alex going for another gateway, presumably going to throw down a robo again, like he did last game.
Yeah, most likely. It takes a lot more finesse to go for something like the Twilight and High Templar first. You've got to be really confident that you can hit one or two beautiful storms. So it is definitely a lot safer for people to do the Colossus route. And there is the robot right at the front ramp.
Yep. LD scouting with this Marine. It's going to get taken out by the Mothership Core. And he's actually throwing down two bunkers right now. One at the natural and one in the main.
Yeah.
Just in an awkward position, kind of for blink plays, I guess. And in case he would have to lift off and bring everything back into the main. Not a necessary bunker, but I guess if he wants to be playing safe.
It's a safety thing, and you can get the money back for it a little later on.
Right.
Forge going down there now.
Players playing kind of laid back, just going for their upgrades. Stim coming out now, combat shield soon. Factory going down, and probably a starport after that. Hopefully, if necessary, he makes enough starports this game.
Yeah, should have learned from last time to add on a little more to get the production of both out. It also didn't help that he lost two of the early medevacs in the drop
Right.
that he could have had available later on in the game. And again, we get our Protoss going for the weapons upgrade as opposed to the armor upgrade, which I don't. Given the composition, you've got to think of the effect that it has. It can be good to kill faster, but when you're dealing with so many just bio units, it's more important that you can absorb the damage more. Most importantly, that your zealots up front absorb a lot of damage while the Colossus and other things are doing their job.
Right. That's mainly what going armor first in PvT is for. It's just to make your zealots tankier and immortals as well. They are very tanky units. I would go for the weapons first if I was going blink, because you can kind of
If you're
just blink your
attacking,
stalkers back and they melt marines.
yeah, if you're attacking first, there's certain compositions where it's all right, and it depends what your opponent's doing. But given the mass marine, you can just see they do a damage of 6. If you get the armor, it's immediately cut down to 5. There's fewer cases where it's more effective than that, where
Right.
you're just getting like a 16% reduction right off the top of everything. Is really good. Once you add Guardian Shield on that, which we didn't see that use made in the last game, you get +1 armor and Guardian Shield up, and all of a sudden that 6 is a 3.
Right.
You've literally cut Marines' damage in half. It really adds up on you.
Yeah. But Stim just finished up a couple of seconds ago, and medevacs are on their way now. Terran getting their upgrades. Colossi are coming out as the robotics bay finishes. First two medevacs are about to pop here. Missile turrets going up. And I just heard the medevacs load up as they are being boosted across the map. As this map is good for blink play, it is also great for drop play
Yes,
for the same
definitely.
reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of space to drop. You can also come in, and I'm kind of hoping this is what he does or is thinking of. You can essentially come in behind the natural, and if it looks like it's defended, just push directly into the main.
Right.
And still be safely behind, and it's hard for them to follow you in. He will boost towards the natural now.
Yeah, I think he boosted a bit too early here.
Yeah.
But this little task force is definitely strong enough to take some stuff out. But it looks like he's going to get caught immediately. Oh, and just losing his entire army there.
Loses a huge amount of that for very little. Well, if anything, in terms of what was lost. Going after the assimilators there, not generally where you want to be. You want to at least get some worker kills or something out of that. But with the army there, you should have just kind of picked up and left.
Yeah, I think what he was trying to do was rush in and just focus fire the Colossus, but that didn't turn out very well because there was a bulk.
Yeah.
Thermal Lance is 3/4 of the way done. One thing I wanted to note about Aldi's play is that I like that he has the map vision. He's constantly having the towers and doesn't have to worry about where he flies his medevacs.
Yeah.
Because he knows his opponent has no vision, other than observers, which our player Alex hasn't been spreading around very much. Alex going for the third, and Aldi creating Vikings, still not making a second starport, instead opting to add 2 more barracks, which I don't agree with after seeing Colossi. But just for the reason that you need medevacs as well as Vikings, right? Like you have to have enough of both.
He's got a lot of, and you want to be careful of this at home there too. He's got a lot of SCVs that are just kind of sitting around. They've done their build. They built whatever they were going to, but they weren't rallied back to the position that they weren't rallied back to mine. And just literally on one screen, I can see 5 of them that aren't doing anything. 6 of them actually that were not doing anything at all. And that really cuts into your economy. So always try and send back your workers. Just queue it up as you're building the building.
Or use the F1 hotkey.
Yeah, exactly. Just catch them afterwards and send them back.
Yeah. Our Protoss player actually wasn't doing that either. Like he had a couple of probes laying around after buildings warped in. But it looks like we're going to get an engagement here over by the Protoss's third. Couple of Marines getting picked off.
To it here. He's going to come up. This is going to depend a little bit on the angle. If the Zealots can get out front, then I think this is an easy fight. A pickup. This is dangerous right this second. But I don't know. Not sure what he's doing here, actually.
Maybe drop
it-
here, snipe out the third, and then pick up and go, because our Protoss is out of position for this right now.
Yeah, he is
Heading
definitely
back
out
to
of
the natural to
position.
defend.
I think he's just going to... Almost looks like he's going to sack it, but if he gets in a bad position, he's going to become surrounded here.
He
Oh, he's
overcharged.
going to
And,
pick up and boost away.
yeah, unfortunately, not having blink in time. I think what LD needs to do is
No.
just not go in here. He needs to
that's
regroup with his
literally the
army.
worst thing to do.
Gonna lose the bulk of his ground army, but these Vikings actually managed to take out one of the Colossi and the Mothership Core. If he focused for it, I think he would have maybe gotten the second one, but he did manage to soften them up.
He's going to try and drop back. Being just too indecisive here, I think, is LD.
Yeah, he's stuck. Oh, but if he drops on top of those Colossi, he could actually snipe
Yeah,
them
he
both
could do
off.
that. And here's the thing, just boosting directly into the main instead. But now with Blink done, Stalkers will give chase.
Heading the wrong way, going for the probes and an already mined out main expansion. He should have just went for the Templar Archives, I feel.
Medevacs are going to try and swing back to pick this up, but I don't think he should at this point.
He should just get as much damage done as he can.
He could actually just kill, or at least had he gone for them initially, could have just killed all the Stalkers.
Right.
But maybe didn't realize that's the case. Just being too indecisive here, I think, is a thing. Had he targeted anything important, for instance, this Templar Archives researching from the very beginning, then it may have been worthwhile, but unfortunately not. And we do see the Terran has been reset in army count a fair bit, and perhaps more importantly, the medevac count. He's down to 1, and there's no Vikings.
Yeah. Again, just working off of a single starport right now, something he could have improved from the last game. His economy's, well, he's spending all his money now. Protoss still has a lot of minerals left. He managed to keep his third alive, which is good, and he's spending all these minerals on a crap ton of cannons right now, which is good.
Yeah.
LD prepping to get his third or fourth?
I guess that would be his fourth. He's kind of taken the third down here, which is just a mule dump as the SCVs do transfer over.
Yeah, it seems like LD's definitely behind right now just from a couple of sloppy engagements. Or, well, like you said, the indecisiveness. He attacked with half of his army when he shouldn't have. Lost all of his Vikings and ended up losing all of his medevacs. It seemed like he was getting a bit nervous at that point. Yeah, a couple scans go down.
I think he saw what looked like an opportunity, but he just didn't have enough, but tried to capitalize on it anyway.
And our Protoss is nearing maxed out, and he's got a ton in the bank for reinforcements. It looks like he's just going to push on through. But again, what I mentioned earlier, LD's mechanics, he's managing to still be ahead in supply. But the composition is just not there. I mean...
Yeah, the real concern now, he can go attack this base and then use storms to cover his back.
Right. Like, right here, he's just going to walk into... Oh, but he's target firing all the High Templar. Oh, but a bunch of storms. Maybe overstimming just a little bit, and all these Colossi gonna just shred through the army of the Terran player. Stalkers target firing the Vikings, and I think that's GG. There's too many Zealots, and too many Colossi left alive.
It's just too much everything at this point, and yeah, the storms were just absolutely huge. They sat and then ate the entire thing.
Yeah, and, if he had stemmed a little part of his army to move forward to catch them, that would have been great. But unfortunately, his entire Bioforce just got carpeted, and there were no medevacs to help heal. Overstimming as well, and Alex going to be taking game number 2 with the superior unit composition.
Yeah, and LD does call GG, so we're going once again to a game 3. Just good stuff. Good stuff, and yeah, the LD really... It was the way that